Hey guys, it's Tinker Taylor here today, bringing you the next part of this city scene series build thing session vibe hangout thing. Um, yeah, sure. That's what we're going with. Now I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the last video, but I actually had no cheats or anything available at this point in this build. For some reason Oh, I know why, sorry. It's because we had an update and then my mods broke my game, and so I couldn't even um access the cheat codes by pressing the Control Shift C, I think. I couldn't do that. That didn't work. It didn't pop up. No matter what I tried. So I've learnt since then to make sure to update, sorry, not update, to remove my mods and back up my files before an update, just in case. I've never had an issue with my saves and stuff like that when it comes to updates. Um, but I just don't want to risk it anymore, especially with like a lot of builds coming up in the future and whatnot. I don't want the game to crash. And so that is why we end up with the build kind of a bit weird at the start. But towards the end it gets a bit better because I believe I get my mods back. Um, and just like the basic cheats and whatnot. So yeah, we've got two bars down here. They're kind of like a speakeasy, hidden away. You have to go through the hotel. I believe the hotel is the next video that I'm doing. But yeah, you have to go through the hotel bar restaurant area. It's technically not a restaurant, but we can pretend it is. There's no place where the bar, oh sorry, where a restaurant would actually be where they're cooking. Um, it's just like a bar seating area. Normally, I know hotels do have food places. I know they do have, yeah, like a restaurant or food service, room service. That's the word I was looking for. But I didn't, I didn't do it this time. I say this time, like I regularly build hotels. I've only ever tried to build one once before, and it totally glitched out my game. So we're gonna try again. Without the glitches, hopefully. But that'll be a much later build. But yeah, this hotel is pretty simple and just a decent place to stay, I reckon. But we are focusing on the bar at the moment. So as you can already tell, there is one that is a lot darker and moodier, and one that is a little bit brighter and a little bit more fun compared to the darker and moodier one. So yeah, there's definitely set vibes of people who would go to each one. I would go to neither because I am not really a fan of like bars and pubs and stuff like not really my scene. But I still wanted to try and make it fun and interesting to people who might want to hang out in places like this. So yeah, like I said before, we've got one that's a bit more fun, one that's a bit more moody, I guess is the word. Um, and I don't know, it was really this was the whole point of this build is that I wanted to build this part of the build. I wanted to do the bar, and yeah, it just blew up into this enormous build. And I'm pretty sure I said that last time as well, but you know, here we are actually getting in and doing it. So yeah, you will see sneak peeks of the outside of the build, as I do sometimes go up above the level to kind of look around. But until I kind of get my uh, mods and cheats back, we are kind of stuck. I think it's about 10 minutes that I get. That's a different day that I start building, and I have access to them again. So for now, yeah, it is a little kind of just placing things around randomly. But yeah, that's it for that one. But I've also realized just then, I haven't. This is my first video back since finishing my exam, which means I am officially done with uni. We had our celebration stream yesterday. It was really, really fun. We played some random fun community games, and yeah, it was a good time to just relax. I was absolutely exhausted and also late to my own stream, which becoming a bit of a habit, but I that was because of uni and all the things that was prohibiting me from being on time then, but now this one time it was because of I was having lunch with some people and I had to push it back. And yeah, now I shouldn't have a reason to be late because my plans are going to be planned around my streaming schedule because that'll be a bit of a main priority at the moment, which is fantastic. Um, so yeah, and also aiming to increase streams to the three times a week for Sims and then one variety game. So definitely if you're interested in seeing me build live, because this entire build I've done live. I think I'm gonna have to finish the rest of it off stream. Um just because there's already a bunch of things planned out on stream that I need to do. Um but yeah, it's kind of exciting to be done. It still hasn't quite hit me yet. I think it'll finally hit me once I close down all of my uni tabs, um, and log out of Teams because I just don't want to be in Teams anymore. I don't need it. Don't want it. Don't want to deal with it. And when I remove the email off of my phone, the uni email, although it could be fun to keep it because when I had my previous degrees, they gave me the same email and the same like everything because I was the same student. And so I kept getting emails for my previous degrees, and it was kind of fun and interesting to see what they were up to and what they've changed since I've done the degree. Um, and I don't know, maybe I'm interested, but I'm probably going to quickly get tired of that idea of being like, oh, like what's happening? What are we up to? I don't actually care. I'm done. None of these opportunities would apply to me anyway because I'm no longer a student there. So yeah, we'll see. It's probably something, yeah, like by the end of the month, I'll probably have deleted off of my phone and whatnot. Uh, but yeah, I think it feels really good to not have to get up in the morning. Um, like I do have to get up in the morning. I feed my cat Macy every morning, and she yells and yells and yells and yells and yells and yells until I get up. So usually I get up straight away because I know that she's not gonna stop. Um, but I was able to get up this morning, feed her, and then go back to bed. Like I don't really do that. That's not very common, and it was really, I don't know, just quite relaxing to be able to do that. So I got some really, really good sleep last night. Last couple of nights have not been fantastic. Um, but last night's sleep, I feel really, really good about it. So yeah, definitely going to be sleeping better now that I don't have the stress of uni. And I know a lot of people will be like, well, now you don't have it. You can kind of just sleep whenever you want, wherever you want. Like, you don't have to think about these things. But I am someone who deeply values sleep. If I can, I will prioritize it because it's just, I love it. I love sleep. I have grown up in a household that has always told me to prioritize sleep. And it's just a habit that I've kept really, really strong. Um, some people have the habit of like, okay, eating dinner at the table as a family, or having breakfast, or going on daily walks, or cleaning at a certain time or a certain way or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I do have some of those habits and whatnot. But my biggest one that people are like, what really? Is that yeah, I value and prioritize my sleep. I'm not going to like one of the favorite people I love to watch is Ozcat Dad, but he starts streaming. He's sort of in the same time zone as me. Um and he starts streaming after dinner, and I think I've only missed one stream, and that's because I fell asleep at like 6 p.m. or something like that. I was exhausted. But he streams early enough that I can join the stream, but it's very rare that I can get to the end of the stream, and I'm not too mad at that. I'm not too mad that I can't get to the end because I want to sleep, so I do. Um, and I don't understand how people can power through with like less than 6 hours sleep. If you can do that, like you are, I just don't get it. How do you do that? It's insane to me. But if you intentionally do it because you're trying to show off or something, I also don't get that. If you have to and you've got no other choice, major respect to you because I could not function like that. I become unreasonable and unbearable. 100%. 100% unreasonable, unbearable. This is why if I'm tired, I don't stream. Um, I've just checked I have a watch that tracks my sleep, and I slept for 8 hours, 9 hours last night. The day before was 5.5, and I was excited to be done with uni for sure, but also like just desperately wanting to go to sleep. And then the night before that was 7 hours, which is not terrible, but also not fantastic for myself. I am solidly an 8 hour sleeper. Um, Dang, looking at all my stats for sleeping, I don't generally check my stats, but from I think that's the 11th of this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nights out of, I don't know how to count. What date are we at today? 23, 12 days? Oh, that's not too bad. 5 out of 12, getting 8 hours sleep at least. Um, okay, anyway, it's probably enough of me rambling about that. But yeah, like I said before, it still hasn't quite hit me that I am finished with uni. It's kind of a little bit insane. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'll hit once I officially graduate. So, the end of this week or next week, I think I should get all my marks back. Um, but the official, like the official marks don't get released until I think, yeah, so next week or the week after. It's the week after. In 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days. So I just gotta wait 12 days for my official marks, but all of my actual marks should start coming out soon. And I think once I start seeing that and once I walk across the stage, I think it'll start to hit like, okay, we've actually done this, we've actually graduated. Because last time with my last degree, I graduated on a Monday and then the next day I started my next degree. So yeah, it's not really hit me yet. I'm kind of glad it hasn't because I feel like it's going to be a bit of a panic that I'm done. Um, but we're gonna just try and stay calm and collected, and it'll be a good thing. We're finished, and it feels good to be finished. So yeah, I'm just taking this time off to get really far ahead in my builds, especially with my schedule changing for next year. Um, my builds are kind of all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. So I haven't finished this build. I've done most of it. There's only 3 more apartments, 3 more townhouses to go. And I feel like I could get them done pretty quick. Maybe 6 to 8 hours I could get them done. Um, which I know is still quite a long time. But I've also finished the first 2 builds for next year, and tomorrow I start on a third one, but that build is for February for the A to Z challenge. So I'm kind of building all over the place. Hopefully by the end of today, I have a planner I'm already ahead of because I did extra builds throughout the week. Um, if I go to today on my planner, it's going to take a minute because I've done so much in this planner. There we go. By the end of this week, I should be up to the first 8 builds of January and potentially the first 2 builds of February. Um, and hopefully somewhere in there I have time to finish this build. Because I really would like to finish it. Again, I'm probably going to do it off stream. I might do it over in my Discord and just hang out with people in Discord. We will have to see. But I don't know, it's kind of something fun and interesting that this build is because it's just so many different things. And I get that the EV townhouse was townhouses were kind of a similar thing, being all these different styles of builds in one, but that was all residential townhouses. This is also um like there's some shops and stuff, and then there's these bars and the hotel and whatnot. So I feel like this is a little bit different. You can absolutely let me know if you disagree and if you think I'm just doing the same build over and over again. Because it does sometimes feel like that, but I am trying to differentiate by doing some more fun things. Also originally it was meant to be just the one bar on the other side. This one here, that's not what I aimed, like what the idea started with, but it's what we ended up with. There's just so many builds, like so many aspects of this build that I was like, oh, we'll start with this. And then it was like, what if I add this? What if I add this? What if I add this? And it just kept going and going and going and going. And now we're here. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely still kind of stuck in the big build mindset. But for my next year's projects, which I have announced over on Twitch officially, but I haven't quite yet because I'm not really sure how or when I want to do that. But um, for certain aspects of the builds, I am doing so I'm doing most of them in small lots. Um, Preferably ones that do not include 40 in the size, but definitely ones that do not contain 50 in the size. And there are only special ones that I'm going to allow 50 or 64 by 64 lots, because otherwise, yeah, these builds are going to take forever like this, and I'm going to let them blow out of proportion and just be stupidly big. So yeah, let's just fingers crossed I keep to that. Um, but I think I will, because again, I've already started, and the first two are, I think I might have recorded it somewhere. I'm not positive that I have. Let me jump over here. Oh, I have. The first one is 30 by 20. I think the next one is 30 by 30 or 30 by 40. I think it's 30 by 30. I'm just putting this 30 by 30. Yeah, it's kind of exciting to actually have started this project. So if you're wondering what it is, I haven't decided if I'm going to say it yet or not, but I will 100% be um obviously announcing it next year because that's when it starts. It starts next year. It's a project with currently 1025 builds. Now, if you know anything about anything, you probably can already guess what that means. I'm also going to say there's probably going to be more than 1025. It's just that there's currently 1025 builds. And I no, I was going to say, can I do more? But I already said that, yeah, technically I'm going to be doing more because there's probably going to be more inspiration, if you will. I'm being cryptic, yes, but also not that cryptic. If you are, again, into gaming, you'll probably already know exactly what I'm talking about. And feel free to guess, because I will confirm in the comments if that's what it is or isn't. Um, I'm just really excited to actually get it started, and like I said, I've planned so many things for it. I have officially planned all of next year's builds for it, and also the A to Z challenge. I also have, I don't know, the challenge for me in my time zone ends on the perfect build inspo, and next year's starts on the perfect build inspo because it's kind of like a symbolic thing of like one thing represents something ending and one thing represents something starting, and it lines up perfectly with that. And I'm really happy it does. I would be so upset if it didn't, because there's not much I can do about it to make it line up. That was just how it worked. Um, and also for some of these builds, I am also choosing to limit the amount of DLC I use. So the first one that I built, I used one of every, like one game pack, one stuff pack, one expansion pack, and one kit. And the next one I think I just used Island Living. There's a potential that I used something else, but I think I just used Island Living. So for these sorts of builds, I will be limiting myself to maximum one of each DLC. Um, unless I can justify why I could use two of one and none of the other. Like, let's say I could justify using I cottage living in high school years. I don't. They're the first two I could think of. I can use them, but I'm not allowed to use anything else. But so far, with the two builds I've done so far, I have I've done that. I've maintained a maximum of one each, and I don't know. I think I want to do more of that because it really helps and encourages me to increase shareability, usability of my builds, I guess. More inclusive, that's the word I was looking for. Because I know not everybody uh can or wants to have all of the pets. So yeah, kind of just keeping that in mind. It's also a little challenge to myself, so it feels like a two-in-one thing where I'm A, being inclusive and B, challenging myself. So yeah, win-win for everyone in that circumstance. But with the really big builds, I don't know if I will limit myself. I haven't decided yet. There's every possibility that it could, because sometimes when I limit myself, I come up with some really, really nice builds. And it's just I feel like because I'm not overwhelmed with choice, I make things work a lot better. Like looking at this bar build here, and even on the other side, most of the bar stuff is from the Love Struck pack. Actually, quite a lot of what's going on down here is Love Struck. And again, because I think it's all joint together, it's one nice cohesive theme. I've done a lot better. I feel it's not as disjointed and overwhelming as what I normally do. Because I'm not the best builder, and I'm okay with that. I'm still learning and growing, and um, yeah, I just think it's quite interesting to see when I limit myself, I do better. And I think it is mostly due to the fact that when I limit myself, it's to things that are very similar to each other, that work cohesively together. Whereas if you have everything, you get overwhelmed by choice, and then it either leads to decision fatigue or poor decision of being like, well, these things don't actually work together. Why did you choose that? So yeah, it's probably something I'll get more into in the future. Um, because I'm trying to build more for myself. Because sometimes when I build for with others in mind, I get really frustrated with the build, or um I'm just not happy with what's going on and whatnot. But I find when I build because I want to build and I want to do something, I enjoy it a lot more. And because I want to challenge myself, pack limitations is definitely something I want to do. Size limitation is something I want to do. But it ends up benefiting other people because if I limit the size of the lot, it means that um, people can play with it and it not be overwhelming on their devices, or it can mean that with the pack limitation that like people can actually download it and play it. And maybe, this particular pack is one they just got or they're thinking about getting, and um it just I don't know. I don't want to always build with everything. It is a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie, because there's been a couple of times where I'm like, oh, I really want to use this thing, but I can't because it's part of this pack or this kit or whatever, and I've limited myself to not using that stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's just we'll see how it goes in the future. The first build I've done, I really have enjoyed for next year. But the second one, I'm not a huge fan of it. Um, it's not as, I don't know. Just there's something missing from it, and I feel like as soon as I know what it is, I'll be like, oh, that's so obvious. I should have put that in. But there's also not much that I can think that I should have put in that I didn't. So, we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it in the future. But it is done, and I'm not going to fiddle with it because when I fiddle, it just, I don't know. It goes sideways. But I definitely don't want to do that. But yeah, we're getting really into the builds, and I'm very excited because, like I said, yeah, the by the end of this week, I should have at least the first week's worth of builds for next year done. And I think by the end of next week, we should have, that would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So yeah, we'd have first 2 weeks done plus maybe the first 4 for February. Just very exciting. I'm very keen and excited for it, and I cannot wait to actually get in. And I'm not gonna voice these ones early. I'm probably gonna wait until December to voice them. So that, yeah, maybe I will be a month ahead in voicing them, but be ahead, which is fantastic. Because I know it's gonna get a lot, and I know I'm gonna get overwhelmed, and I know that I'm gonna need days off and whatnot, and this is so that I can do that in the future. Because like I said, my schedule is changing. You will get more videos from me, more than 2 a week. And I will be going back onto making shorts for you guys as well. I know not everybody likes shorts, but I don't know, just I feel like some people like watching the build in a short form. I normally do just like videos, basically like taking screenshots but with a video. I don't know what that's called. There's probably a word for it, and I'm probably gonna remember at the moment I finish recording this. But I'll just pan around the build or go through rooms and show them off. No audio, just a little bit of visual so you can have a look at the builds and see what they're like. And I'll be putting like I normally do, the shorts out first earlier in the day and then the builds out afterwards, so that if you just want to see what it looks like real quick, fantastic, you can, and you don't have to worry about the full video. But if you want to see the full video, there will be a full video, and it'll be out that same day. So yeah, that's pretty much the plan for that. I don't really have much else to ramble on about, which is fantastic because I'm really running out of things to ramble about, and we're getting so close to the end. This build is pretty much done. I might have done a few touch-ups. I believe I add just a few more lights around and some walls. But other than that, this is pretty much it for the build. So definitely let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.